Real-life glitches in the Matrix that science can't explain. I used to think reality was fixed, concrete, unchangeable. That was before I started collecting the stories. It began innocently enough. I'm a neurologist specializing in perception disorders, so when patients reported experiencing what internet forums call glitches in the Matrix, I was intrigued from a scientific perspective. Déjà vu, jamais vu, temporal disorientation, all fascinating but explicable phenomena. Or so I thought. 3 years ago, I created an anonymous submission form online, expecting to gather anecdotes for a paper on perceptual anomalies. Within weeks, thousands of reports flooded in. Most were mundane, keys disappearing then reappearing in obvious places, shared identical dreams, songs playing at significant moments. But buried among these were accounts that defied conventional explanation. Accounts that, after rigorous investigation, left me questioning the fundamental nature of our reality. Case number 147, The Doubled Man. A subway commuter in Boston reported seeing the same businessman twice simultaneously, once sitting across from her reading the Wall Street Journal, and again visible through the window on an adjacent train, making identical movements with identical facial expressions down to the millisecond. When the trains diverged, she managed to photograph both. The images show the same man, wearing the same clothes, holding the same newspaper folded to the same page, with identical coffee stains on his cuff. Facial recognition software confirmed a 100% match. The man in question, a financial analyst named Robert Keller, has no twin. His electronic record showed him swiping his transit card once that morning. Security cameras captured him entering only one train, yet 2 Robert Kellers existed for precisely 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Case number 382, The Room That Shouldn't Be. A family in Albuquerque returned from vacation to find an additional room in their house, a perfect nursery with pale yellow walls, a white crib, and stuffed animals. The room existed where previously there had been only a linen closet. More disturbing, the nursery contained framed photographs of the couple holding an infant they never had, yet their faces in the photos showed subtle signs of aging consistent with their current appearance. Building records showed no renovations. Neighbors reported no construction. The couple had never wanted children, yet both experienced overwhelming grief upon entering the room, a sense of loss for a child that, according to all records, never existed. Brain scans revealed neurological patterns consistent with parental bereavement. 3 days later, the room reverted to a linen closet. The photographs disappeared, but not before I obtained one for analysis. The image still exists in my files, though the infant's face appears increasingly blurred with each viewing, as if being slowly erased from our timeline. Case number 629, The Simultaneous Murder. A woman in Vancouver called police at 3:17 a.m., reporting that her husband had been stabbed by an intruder. First responders found him dead with multiple stab wounds. Simultaneously, and I mean precisely the same second, the same man was pulled over for speeding 27 miles away. Body camera footage from the officer shows him alive, confused, and uninjured. The autopsy confirmed the deceased was genetically identical to the living man. Both wore the same wedding ring with identical microscopic scratches. Both had the same appendectomy scar and distinctive birthmark. The living man's memory contained no gaps. Security footage confirmed his whereabouts all evening. He attended a late business meeting, stopped for gas, and was headed home when pulled over. Yet his wife identified the stabbed body as her husband without hesitation. DNA from the murder weapon matched an ex-convict who claimed he'd never met the victim. The case remains unsolved. The surviving duplicate has since experienced progressive cognitive decline, as if his consciousness is slowly fragmenting. Case 891, The Photograph Anomaly. A university archivist digitizing photographs from the 1940s discovered something impossible. In a group photo of factory workers from 1943, a woman in the back row is holding what appears to be a modern smartphone. Spectral analysis confirmed the object has the exact reflective properties and dimensional ratios of current mobile technology. More disturbing, facial recognition matched the woman to Anna Keller, a 32-year-old software engineer who disappeared in 2018 while hiking alone. When shown the photograph, Keller's parents identified their daughter without prompting. Her father noted she was wearing the same distinctive locket in the 1943 photograph that he had given her for her 30th birthday in 2016. After this discovery, researchers found Keller appearing in historical photographs spanning from 1897 to 1976, always the same age, often looking directly at the camera with an expression of distress. In each image, she's wearing clothes consistent with the time period, yet always with the same modern locket. Anna Keller remains missing. The FBI has classified her case. Case number 1176, the recurring death. 6 unrelated individuals from different countries have reported experiencing the same death scene repeatedly. Each describes watching a man fall from a specific clock tower in Prague, a fall that ends with him landing on decorative wrought iron fence posts. Each witness reports identical details: the man's tweed jacket catching momentarily on a stone gargoyle, his glasses falling first, the specific pattern of blood spread upon impact. None of these witnesses has ever visited Prague. None knows the others. Yet when independently asked to draw the clock tower and surrounding square, they produced nearly identical sketches, including architectural details not found in any published photographs of the location. The most unsettling detail: historical records confirm that in 1887, a university professor named Emil Kovač died exactly as described. Yet this information was not digitized or widely available. The witnesses all report seeing this death in dreams or during waking episodes beginning on March 17, 2020. The same day, renovations uncovered Kovač's journal bricked into the tower wall. The journal's final entry describes his fear of becoming unstuck from time. Since documenting these cases, I've experienced my own anomalies. Twice I've found my office rearranged in subtle ways, books shelved differently, certificates hung on different walls, only to have colleagues insist nothing has changed. Last week I arrived home to find my blue sedan was now gray. Service records, insurance documents, and photos on my phone all show a gray car. Only my distinct memory insists it was once blue. More troubling are the patients who remember consultations with me that never occurred. Or did they? My calendar shows blank spaces where they claim appointments happened. My dictation machine occasionally contains recordings of my voice discussing cases I have no memory of treating. The logical explanation is that I'm experiencing stress-related memory issues, or perhaps early cognitive decline. I've undergone MRIs, PET scans, comprehensive neurological testing, all normal, which leaves less comfortable possibilities. Perhaps reality isn't as stable as we assume. Perhaps consensus reality is merely the overlap of billions of subjective experiences, usually aligned but occasionally diverging. Or perhaps we exist in a simulated environment where processing errors occasionally surface. The cases continue accumulating. The woman who found her deceased mother's handwriting in a book, published 2 years after her death. The man who has photographic evidence of a vacation to Finland. His passport shows he never took. The twins separated at birth who independently created identical artwork down to the brushstrokes. Small tears in reality's fabric, suggesting something more fluid and frightening underneath. I no longer dismiss these accounts so easily, and lately I've begun to wonder about my own memories. Was I always a neurologist? Sometimes I wake with fragmentary recollections of another profession, another life. Yesterday I found a business card in my wallet identifying me as Dr. Jonathan Mercer, Quantum Physics Research, Dartmouth College. I've never worked at Dartmouth, I've never studied physics, at least not in this timeline.